Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Reese, aka Pokernomics with the Reese Poker Show. I am here today with Mallory from the Texas Card House team here. She is a staple of this community here in North Texas and beyond. We're going to learn a lot from her today. So, Mallory, thank you for being on the pod today.
Thank you for having me.
So, as I had mentioned, you run the streams amongst many other things, but could you tell me a little bit about tell me about how you got here, like your origins. How did you get into poker and ultimately start running live streams?
I started playing poker in, I'm not going to give away my age, whenever I was younger with my dad and his friends.
Sure.
Just playing little home tournaments, $20 buy-ins. And then I just started playing some free roll tournaments. Were kind of fun around town. And I started my own business running free roll poker tournaments in Oklahoma. So
Nice.
I've got about 20 tournaments running each week, free to play, no risk for players. So it's a great learning experience for people that want to get into poker.
For sure.
But beyond that, whenever COVID happened and it shut down my business and all other businesses around town, I started learning how to deal in private games in Oklahoma. So then I started dealing. When things started opening back up, my business started back up again, and I even came down here to kind of get away from some other games in Oklahoma. So I came down here to Texas Card House, where it's been fun. It's like a family. We're open 24 hours, so you can pick up any shifts, which is amazing, super flexible. And I picked up an extra gig booking live streams.
There you go. And I actually saw you on one of the links you had sent me recently. I saw you actually dealing in one of the games, which I hadn't seen. That's awesome. With like the poker tournaments you're running, and that like it's almost like you have like the farm team that you've built up, right? Of people you're bringing into the poker community. In your time doing that, have you seen poker players go from like maybe interested or casual about it to now being, a regular here, grinder, that sort of thing?
It's so funny. I have I set up games in college towns in Oklahoma. So I get these college students that are coming in, they're buying beers and stuff, and I assume like on mom and dad's dime. But they're the ones that you want to have come in and play for free, and you can win your tab. I saw some of those college guys that have already graduated and moved on with their life. They're down in Dallas now being complete degenerates. Some of them have moved into PLO. Like, I can't save them now. So it's just...
They're in deep.
Right. They're in deep. So it's a positive gateway to the poker world, I would say.
Yeah. I always like hearing about people's origins, how they got into it. And for someone like you, you're an ambassador of the game. So you're bringing more people in, bringing people into this ecosystem. I reached out to you a couple of years ago when I started making content, said, hey, Mallory, I'd love to get on these streams. And it's been awesome. It's been fun. I really enjoy, and I'll tell you, playing a lot of other streams, a lot of other rooms and stuff, you guys have it really organized and tight. I really appreciate like the regulars you have, and it's a really good operation. Let me ask you this, with the live streams, what has been the most challenging part of that as someone that's like orchestrating the games and everything? What's the hardest thing to do? What's the hardest part of that gig when it comes to like running and facilitating the live streams?
Getting players to show up on time, I think. I think that's the hardest thing to get them to do. Yeah. I know it sounds so simple. I feel like I've been blessed with, you said like the poker community and the ecosystem. I've been blessed to know a bunch of great people, yourself included. You're a positive contribution to the game entirely. So having those people just right there ready to come play and battle it out, that's been super helpful.
So I'm sure you've got like that list of like, I know these are reliable people that will follow through. And then there's probably a gray area that's a ton of players that are like, well, maybe they'll show up, maybe they won't, maybe they'll show up on their own time.
There's a definite gray area, but I can't help but love them because they bring so much energy and action to the game. I just let them know, like, I need to know if you will be here or not.
Yeah. And I think that speaks to and I'll say this, there's probably not a correlation to skill or aptitude and that punctuality. You probably have people that are incredible players but just cannot stick to a timeline or like a confined like boundary, right? And that's why they've been able to kind of thrive in like cash poker, right?
Communication's great in all relationships. Communication's really good.
Yeah, no doubt. That's something that I would say an overwhelming majority of poker players, especially guys out there, could step up.
Yeah, help me help you. Help me help you, please.
So It feels like we're in, and you could probably speak to this better than me. It feels like we're in the midst of like a real like resurgence of poker in kind of the mainstream culture now. Like we're on the cusp of kind of like a poker boom. Is that what you're feeling here, and like with your schedule managing these and everything? Is that what y'all are seeing on your side?
It's so neat seeing all of these emerging influencers and vloggers that have so many different backgrounds and stories and lifestyles to tell. So that brings in a whole bunch of different little niches into the poker world. You've got the poker mainstream, but then you've got these little extras that are bringing their personality to the game. So yeah, I think that it's hitting a lot of different markets that it maybe was missing before.
Right. Yeah. In 2003, when I when the boom hit, and I started playing, I think 2004, 2005, going to school in Austin, had buddies that played a weekly like $10 poker tournament. My roommates, that's how I got into it.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
a year
that's great.
later, I'm in like the back of a sushi restaurant in Austin when I should be in class playing like 5-10.
This is a degenerate.
Yeah, it was quite a journey. But there was no like creator economy, no ecosystem around it. There weren't people showcasing, in a very authentic way, the ups and downs, everything that it takes to be part of this, and to be known in that. So I do think that there's like a blending of like that creator economy, the attention focus that everybody has on like video and short form, and you see some of these guys that just have built up enormous audiences very, very quickly. Wolfgang
Very
is one
quickly.
that comes to mind. That's like, got the 1 million followers like that.
I've seen a girlfriend of mine go from less than 5,000 followers on a Sunday to 30,000 followers on to that Saturday, and it's all about just pushing content and pushing all of these audience engagement things. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh,
how quickly they get going.
Yes, I'm a little bit like
you can
old
do it
to be in this space.
You can do it though.
So I know, but the thing that I admire, the people that consistently are putting out the content and creating a vlog is just an intense journey.
All of the editing, that's what I hear about the most from them. Hours.
Yeah. And so what I really commend are the content creators that have put in the work, and then they have this very, very unique marketing opportunity. They hit a big score and get some good press coverage. They have a reel that goes viral and it kind of follows with some stories or something. But they've set themselves up to kind of seize on these opportunities in a very unique way.
And it's about consistency. Like they're putting at least one reel, like short form reel, out a day, maybe two. But that'll hit, and then that'll hit, and then that'll hit. Like I've just been watching a lot of the players that come on here start off with small following groups, but with like a whole bunch of potential. And this is just like the ability to access more reels and more clips and stuff by playing on this. They can add that to their
In fact, Mallory, I think the last time I was on here, I played with Slick Rick. It's the first time I had seen him. I wish I would have looked him up beforehand. And not only do I just triple airball bluff a 10K pot to him, it creates an awesome real moment for him to create that. So I get to relive that all the time. And he's built an enormous following, doing some really cool content. I dig what he's got out there. That's cool. So you had mentioned you have a girlfriend that's a content creator. Who are some of the poker vloggers or content creators that you're following, or who's like on your radar that's kind of like coming up now? Maybe people that we could,
Gosh, I've got
share with the audience.
You've got Poker Mama, you got Poker Face Ash. There's On Tilt Poker, who is just like that. Those two guys right there. Nick, he used to play on the live stream here before I started running live streams. He went by Sticky Bush back then. He's just an aggro maniac. I love it. I'm a fan of that. So Triple Barrel Bluffing.
Yes.
Say no more. Say no more. There's On Tilt. Corey Eyring is coming in big. Mm-hmm. We've got Slick Rick. Obviously Wolfgang. Wolfgang's got it down. Like that guy.
He figured out the algorithm. He figured this formula out for sure.
Holy smokes. I'm trying to think. There's Caitlin Komeski that's coming in. She's hilarious. I love her. There's so many of them that I adore. There's Abby Poker.
I've been seeing more of her stuff.
It's so funny. She does like credit card roulette whenever a whole bunch of poker players go out for dinner. Have you played credit card roulette?
Yeah. So for anyone that's not aware of this is a pretty common degenerate thing that a bunch of poker players will do when they go out to lunch or dinner. You'll get the bill at the end of it. Everybody will put their credit card like in a hat or in the thing, and they'll make the waiter or waitress pick right? And then that person has to pay for everyone. And definitely been some like large sushi restaurant bills younger in my career where I was sweating those, like, please don't get drawn for
I'm
the
just like,
$2,000 bill.
I'll have a water and I'll pay for my own. I don't want to do this game.
And, you know, and you mentioned something that that's very unique to the poker universe, which is like gambling in every facet of everything, right? So I go to lunch with a group of guys that I've played poker with for 20 years. Liar's poker is like a guaranteed thing, right? Where we're playing that with the dollar bills over and over again. You know, when we're playing here tonight, we're doing 7 deuce bounty, right? So win a hand with 7 deuce, show it, you get $25 from each player. We're doing a VPIP situation where the bottom 3 VPIPs every, hour and a half or so are going to get listed, and then the audience is going to get on a poll and have the opportunity to save one of these players. The other 2 will be cycled out for some more action.
More action.
The dynamics that get created now with like the stand-up game and all these little side games, I really it adds a new flavor to it, right?
It adds a completely new dynamic to the game.
And I'm sure, just like I have, you've seen many DGen player get stuck or tilted, and then the flips start, right? And they always start with like 100, flips. And then it's like, okay, 500, and then you have these 2 guys on the side that are betting $1,000 a hand on like red or black.
Nothing to them.
So poker players are unique animals, right? Particularly the cash poker players. They really, the ones that can make it, that can hang in this ecosystem, they have to have this like confidence about themselves and this like self-assurance. It's just very unique, and you see it come out in all these other personality traits, right?
Well, in tournament poker, you don't have that wild card dynamic because everybody gets the same amount of chips, and it's there's strategery behind the game, and you can be patient. You can do that, but with cash games, you can add some degen's my favorite, term of endearment. They'll add those different prop hands, table games. It adds a lot of fun to it that you don't see in tournaments.
For sure. And that's been something for me in my poker career. I really have not invested much time in tournaments. It's one of the things. Yeah. So cash games, I've always fallen into cash games, specifically in that Omaha realm. The latitude that you have with those, being able to come and go as you please. I used to really love, going to the underground games in the morning, hit them up at 6 or 7 in the morning when those guys have been playing all night.
Oh, yeah, they're totally stuck.
Been doing some sort of illicit substances, right? And then you come in fresh and play against these guys in like a mental performance game. It's, wild. The tournament side is something that I have great respect and admiration for the people that crush it in it, especially the people who can blend on both sides of those and kill it on both sides, right? Law and Rebecca over there, those are 2 people I know that are just like, they can final table and crush tournaments like it's nothing and come back and be a winning cash player, 7 days a week. I have a lot of admiration for people that have that level of discipline.
You think cash players have a better edge in tournaments, or do you think tournament players have a better edge in cash?
I feel like I might be a little biased when I say this, but I have played with people in bigger games that had really strong tournament resumes. And the caliber of play I saw on the cash side didn't really resonate with it. I was like, wow, you really are a tournament player, right? And so I've definitely
click.
I've definitely seen, things that are just a little wonky or different. They're like literally players that you would be maybe, not happy to have them sitting to your left in a tournament, but in a cash game they were like, it's nothing, right? So I don't know. I think as I get older, once my kids grow up and everything, I'll commit more time to tournament poker. And hopefully it's not completely solved by then, and it's just like chess games, like with these guys with their solvers and all that. That's one more thing that I like about cash is that there's a lot of opportunity in that. Omaha has not been solved. There's guys that crush it. There's people that are winning players. There's a lot of opportunity, particularly let me asterisk that Texas PLO scene.
Texas, #Texas poker. Oh my gosh, I'll tell you.
So people always wonder, how is it legal to play poker in Texas? I know on the stream they're always asking, how are you doing this? Can you explain to the audience what Texas Card House is, kind of how many locations, how the model works here?
Well, when I first started coming down to Texas, in Oklahoma, I would call the underground games private games or home games. Yeah. Whenever I came down to Texas, I started hearing them be called underground. Yeah. Which sounds a lot cooler than a home game or a private game. It sounds a lot more crimey. But with the underground games and with casino games, there is generally a rake taken out of each hand. So you get dealt 20 hands every 30 minutes. You're having 5, 10, 20 plus dollars taken out every hand, versus in Texas, we are not benefiting from each hand. We don't take a rake. It's just you're paying to sit in this chair right here. You're paying for real estate and to get the cards that you want. No money gets taken off the table for the house. No money gets taken off the table to pay the lights. It's just...
Yeah, and that's huge. That's huge. That underground scene that you're referring to, consistently beating the game and fading the rake is like, and then
while
getting paid,
tipping the dealers.
yes, is very, very hard, right? And so the fact that you can play, a 1-2 PLO game here is going to play like a 2-5 or 5-10 anywhere else.
Well, and
right?
you're going to get a 25, 50, 100 game going on that's getting no rake taken out also, which is...
Yeah. Being able to play like 50, 100, 100, 200 for like, 10, 12 bucks an hour
just
is
a casual
bananas.
50, 100 game, you know.
And that's a common thing here. TCH Dallas opened up in October of 2021, right? So you guys have another... October of 2020, maybe?
October 2020.
Boom. Yeah, because it was the 1 year. Okay, that makes sense.
Because I started in May of 2021.
Okay.
Dealing, and nobody believes that I deal, but they can eat dirt because I'm a dealer too. I play more than I deal sometimes.
How long ago? There's a second location here in North Texas, the TCH Social Club in Las Colinas. It's about 10 miles away from here, something like that, right? Tell the audience a little bit about that and the kind of differences between the rooms. So
in Dallas poker scene, I see the 1-2 games being the thriving driving force. It's a $60 to a $500 cap, which I think is amazing for a 1-2. You get a lot more action players that are willing to get in there and mix it up. Plus, they serve free beer here. So like you heard Reese talking about, you get them a little juiced up and it's more fun. It's a mental game. At Las Colinas, it feels like a lot more exclusive club. It's super nice. I see a lot more 2-5 games going on over there and the big games going on. Both places have adequate security. They've got like free drinks, non-alcoholic drinks. But at Las Colinas, there's the bar. So it's just different, almost a different clientele, but still the same backbone that I remember from whenever I first started here. And both of them are thriving. I mean, poker is strong here. We're sitting here before the live stream, and there's probably 15 tables running on a Tuesday. Oh, yeah. 4 in the afternoon, no big deal. So where else are you going to find that? And open 24 hours. Yeah. So if you're stuck, you don't have to rack up your chips and leave. There's no closing hour. If you're at a crappy table, just go to a new table. So there's so many benefits to a place like this. Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this. What does the future look like for live streams here? Tell me about the schedule. How often are you doing the live streams here in Dallas? Because TCH has live streams multiple days a week, right? So multiple days a week. Whenever I first started, we were doing a Tuesday and a Wednesday stream. We cut that down because we did like a player pool on what they wanted, or player pool at what they wanted to do as far as WSOP was going on. All of my players were out in Vegas. It was a struggle. Booking a game isn't that difficult, but booking a good game, that adds a little bit more obstacles, because you have like a pool of regular players that are here to like grind it out and all that stuff. But we want to see some fireworks. We want to see some non-premium showdowns. I want to see some VPIPs that are above 35% on a regular. I mean, 35%'s healthy. No judgment. When I first started playing on the live streams, you can go back into the live stream dates and the get in the archives. Go into the archives, and you'd see me at the very bottom. I've evolved, but I can empathize with low VPIPs. I get it. You might be nervous. It's your first time playing on the live stream, but in Dallas, currently we've got a stream every Tuesday, and we've been mixing it up. We've been doing round of each because we've got the pool for PLO players. We've got our high stakes players. A lot of the high stakes play over at Las Colinas. It's like 15-minute drive from here. And then we've got just a whole bunch of 1-2 players that I think would be amazing. It's hard for me to want to book a 1-2 game though. Like, let's do a 2-5.
Yeah.
Let's do a 2-5.
Well, I think like what we're doing today, a 2-5 with a 10 mandatory straddle, a 20 optional. That 2-5 is going to play like a 5-10, 5-10-25.
It's going to be like a 2-5, 10, 75, 200.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Deceivingly small
I don't
blinds.
know.
I would say every one of the players except Ben. So 5 out of the 7 people that I've brought to this stream have never played on a stream before.
Isn't Ben's more PLO?
He
isn't
is. He is. And that's why we're playing
these are the
Hold'em.
biggest.
No, so the next one when we do PLO, you'll get to see. I actually had to call off a VPIP bet with him. We were going into a game, and it was supposed to be only high, and it ended up being high, low, round of each PLO. And I'm pretty sure his VPIP was like 87%
Holy
for the
smokes.
session. So I'm glad I called it off early because he would have roasted me on that.
Speaking of high VPIPs, I want to add another vlogger, Close to Broke. He played in an Austin live stream with me. We played a 2-5 down there, and his VPIP was 100%. Like, who does that? He didn't know.
I dig him. He's really cool. I like his videos.
He didn't know that he was going to go in at 100% until he started going.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, because these guys always like to fillet me and think that I'm like the low VPIP guy of our group.
He's not the low VPIP.
So coming in tonight, I'm going to they're all going to be wanting to splash around right off the bat. I'm pumped about that. So we're actually about to transition, start getting ready for that. But before we do, Mallory, for the audience, for someone that is maybe a regular player or has started to play or wants to get involved and start playing on streams, like what's the best way they go about how they have the highest likelihood of being on a stream one day?
Well, first of all, watch TCH Live YouTube, and you can kind of get a feel of how the game is going to go. Be comfortable with coming in with some extra rebuys and all that stuff. You can message me on Mallory Poker on Instagram. I think I'm on Twitter or X now with that. But you can email TCHLiveDTX, like for Dallas, Texas, at TexasCardHouse.com.
Okay.
So you can text me, my number. I mean, if you watch the live stream, you're going to see a little clip of my name on there.
Yeah, hit her up on Instagram, send a message. She'll get you connected to go through the process here. And then you can be on the streams crushing like I'm going to be.
Let's go.
So, man, Mallory, thank you so much for doing the podcast. This is episode 2 of the Reese Poker Show.
What an honor.
Glad we're getting to showcase some of the North Texas scene up here and some of the people that make it great like you. Thank you, everyone at home, for watching this. If you do like this, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe, do all that cool shit for me. And we'll be back next time. Later.